It's an interesting time in the Valley's real estate market. Over the past several months, it's shifted to more of a buyer's market. Home prices have dropped a bit, so have mortgage rates. So the question is, where do we stand now? Where does the future hold? Dean Wegner is here now, longtime mortgage expert in the Valley. You're with Sunflower Bank now. Good to see you.
Hi, Troy.
How are you? Doing well. All right, so is that accurate? Do you feel like, I feel like we've been kind of seesawing a bit over the last couple of years, housing market-wise.
We sure have. It's been like hurry up and wait, every single month, and it's like the Fed, the Fed, the Fed. And finally now, next week, the 17th, we think the Fed is finally going to make their first move in a long time.
And that's a short-term interest rate in between banks and letting the money out. But how does that impact the mortgage rate? It's indirect, isn't it?
It's very indirect. They're distant cousins is what you could say. So the overnight rate, which is what the Fed's going to do, the Fed funds rate, it'll affect the Fed funds rate, obviously, and then prime rate. And that will eventually trickle into long-term mortgage rates. And right now we're seeing rates dip down the month ahead of it because in anticipation of it. So a lot of people think there's going to be this knee-jerk reaction on Wednesday. Rates are down 0.5%. That should just equate to like dollar for dollar, and that's not going to be the case at all. In fact, there could be going up because if they're building in a half and they only do a quarter, you'll see rates go up. If they do a half, we might see rates stay the same. They could go down. It really depends on other news. In fact, like how the dollar reacts to it. So the value of the dollar right now is inflationary, and so decreasing rates is inflationary, which hurts mortgages long term. So that's where you see where last time when they lowered rates by 1% over the last couple of years, rates actually went up and not down.
Oh, interesting. So there's all kinds of factors that made into the mortgage rates.
Tons.
It is nice to see them though down. I think they were down just a couple of days ago. Their lowest rate in almost a year.
That's correct. Yep.
Which is good. So you say you're seeing people coming in now and saying, I want to refinance because maybe they got the higher rates before.
Well, and that's exactly it. So our fund, we've had more credit report pulls in the last month than you could say in the last year, in the last 30 days, you know what I mean? So it's just been going bonkers. Everyone, what can I save? What can I save? So if you're a consumer, you're a homeowner, you own your house, let's just say you owe $400,000, we'll throw it out there, and you can lower your interest rate by 1%. That would give you about $260 a month in savings.
Wow.
Now, Troy, I don't know about you, but I think that's a lot of money, and it's definitely worth picking up the phone and checking it out.
Right. All right, so let's say that I'm a first-time home buyer, and I think it's kind of tough now because the home prices are still much higher than they were back in 2019 before COVID and all those things. What do you need to be a first-time home buyer these days?
Well, that's a great question because what is the definition of a first-time home buyer? So for lenders, it's 3 years. The IRS is 2 years. And in certain cases with Freddie Mac and Fannie Mae, it has nothing to do with being a first-time home buyer. Or one person can be a first-time home buyer and the second person. But what is the real advantage of it? And that's what it comes down to. And it's a lower down payment. Ultimately, it's going to be a lower down payment.
What percentage are we talking about?
Instead of 5% down, you can do 3% down.
Okay.
So it's 2% less down payment.
So on a $400,000 house, that's 12 grand you need to put down.
Less, yeah, exactly.
With closing costs.
Yep, correct.
All right.
But I will tell you what's more important than first-time home buyer, and I think this is grossly overlooked, and this trend really, Troy, started like in the last 2 years, is low to moderate income. And so it really starts with $146,000. If your income's below that, then you can get down payment assistance. The state of Arizona will give you 3% for a down payment, which is really cool.
3% on a house, really?
Yeah.
3% of the cost of your house?
It's 3% of the sales price, yes,
Wow.
will go towards a down payment. And then if the realtor's really good, they can negotiate the closing costs, and that way you can get in with minimal down payment. In fact, if they structure it, let's just say you close on the 5th of the month, you wouldn't have the first mortgage payment for 55 days. So that's where you need a good lender, a good realtor, a good program. And back to being a first-time home buyer, kick the wheels sooner than later. Instead of looking at open houses on the weekend, call a lender, call a realtor, come into their office, do a consultation. Tell me some recent success stories of someone that bought a house that went with minimal down or an alternative program or a low to moderate income program. For instance, those programs are right around $80,000. If your income's under $80,000, Troy, the federal government gives thousands of dollars to any buyer. You don't have to be a first-time home buyer because you're under that income limit. And if you buy in certain areas, not only will they give you that money, they'll give you down payment money for that. So these are new programs that have come out lately that they don't really talk about. And so low to moderate income really is the new first-time home buyer program.
And so where would you search for those programs? Are they easily accessible? I mean, is there like a website for them? This is the first time I've heard of these.
Really, you just need to talk to lenders and just, what is your best program right now? My income is $75,000. What do you have? And how does that compare to like a normal vanilla program that exists out there? Like, what are some of your unique programs where I'm getting federal money, state money, county money, local money, grants? All that stuff's available right now, and you really have to ask questions. Not everybody wants to do it, and not everybody has it. So a lot of times they'll conceal that because they don't offer that program. Everybody's not created equal in housing, I will tell you, when it comes to what programs are available.
Dean Wegner, thank you so much for
Troy.
joining us.
Yeah,
Always
absolutely.
great talking with you. All right, Tramp.
Yeah, really eye-opening.
There's a lot of programs out there.
I know. Look into it. All right.